gentlemen. Yeah, here we are. Give this the first talk in the room of Mary Lloyd's pub bar belongs to the Hackney Empire Theatre in Hackney, East London. Right? Yeah, enjoy the show.
What do you mean?
I had a student of mine once, I was asking in class what is art, and she just said everything is art. And I had some issues with that. And I asked her to define what she meant by everything is art. How can everything be art? And we still want to define what art is. If everything were art, we wouldn't have to define it. She got a bit angry with me and ended up sort of leaving and never coming back to the class because I wasn't open-minded enough about art or something.
Yeah. But that's very difficult because how can you say everything is something and you have no... It just becomes valueless if you say everything has the same value.
It's quite dependent on what you think and you think. It's quite different from other people.
Subjective.
Yeah, I mean, if I think that is art, but you don't think it's not art, you know, like it's quite different.
Okay.
I think it's context, really. I mean, you can kind of argue that something is art there because it reflects on something else, and then you can say maybe it's art, and some people would agree with you that it's art and others wouldn't, but it could still be art for the people that say it.
There's the urinal, the famous urinal.
Yes.
Why was that art? Because Duchamp made it art. So, is this art? If someone doesn't make it art, can I just look at it and say, "Oh, that's art," or does it have to be consciously made into art by someone who considers themselves a person who can make art, maybe an artist?
I think
even though the person who made it say it's not art, but even though I feel it's art, it's still art for me.
So you think that art depends on the perception of the viewer rather than the creator of the piece?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. I think.
You think it's art?
I don't think this is art. I think that if someone were to create this from its basic parts with the intention of making an artistic statement, then it would be art.
But like copying it completely like that, but
or
so that it looks the same, but it's a fake. Then it would be
representation
art, a representation of it. But at the same time, you could also like break it down into little bits and say, well, maybe the person who did a tag on it considers that to be art, and that's a piece of art on that. Maybe I mean, there's an ad for McDonald's and somebody wrote over it, "Don't feed this shite to your kids."
that's
like
an intervention.
political.
It was an artistic
You have a nice little rabbit as well, so
that
even
was
for
very
people
cool,
who...
actually. It's well designed. Nice proportion.
I quite like the tail that's sort of broken up.
Yeah, well, this
Very nice.
was it? It's Miles Davis said with improvisational jazz that there is no such thing as an accident. There are just new notes. And in the sense of that smear on the tail makes it more, in my mind, more interesting.
I don't think it's
just
a smear. It's actually designed like that. It's broken up.
Oh, yeah, right. So
it's because it's fluffy. The rabbit is fluffy. Yes. But it's really difficult because if you say that this is art for you, because you decide to, I mean, just, and you could say everything could be art.
Yeah, that's clear. That's my...
So, but that's different from everything is art.
But it's only art when the person who is experiencing it as art chooses or decides that this is art.
But we don't need to identify in the one subject. I mean, everybody can feel everything. That's okay. I think everything could be art, but some of them are not art for me, but some of them might be art for you. So everything would be art.
Everything is potentially
Yeah.
art. Everything has artistic potential. But I think that art has something to do with the creative impulse of the human who intervenes with the material to make it into art. That actually the material in itself is just material until someone has a creative impulse to alter it because they have a drive which is internal that they almost can't control, but they need to change this and make it something that says something different and makes people look at it different or look at their subjective experience differently because of the way they have experienced that thing that was intervened with by the artist.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. So it. God, I'm thinking about how subjective it is. I mean, like I was just sort of going off on one of the when you said it's a reaction to, like, it starts something off in your mind, and then you do something with the material and change it, and then it becomes art. Because you could say that about this piece, because somebody has interfered with it with the intention of changing it and of taking something like a slogan and reacting against it.
And actually altering the way that someone might think of that. Yeah, I mean, now that you look at this, you have a sense of what the meaning of it is entirely different. It changes the way that you'll see it, the way that you'll experience things, maybe even afterwards. They'll get your mind going.
Yes, and when you see the original ad now, you will probably think of this. But at the same time, if we wouldn't at random be standing in the toilet having our art, like nobody would think it was art, probably. So it's maybe the moment as well, like it's where something is.
I mean, like, if you say it's art on the gallery, you would say it's art because it's next to the gallery.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really interesting about like the sort of the material value of art and like the whole art market. You know, like you have. I wouldn't think that any artist makes art to make money. I hope not. But it's such a big factor, and it's such a big thing about defining art, because you say what is art, so that we can sell it.
I think this is a bit the urinal thing. Duchamp put that toilet in the gallery to try and say not everything you look at in a gallery is art. But actually the people said, ooh, look, Duchamp put this in the gallery, now it's art. And so
it's ironic.
Duchamp was, I think he was somewhat appalled at the reaction that people actually received it as art in the long run. At the beginning it wasn't accepted, I think. But
do you know, this is a bit something else, but the producers, the music.
I haven't seen it.
But it's the same idea of these theatre producers who try to produce a flop. You try and find a play that's so bad, a musical that's so bad, that nobody will want to see it. And they